I was standing in the bar, wunderbar. I was talking to a girl from Bavaria. I said, may I have your number? She said, 999. I said, wunderbar. 1, 2, 3. I say wunder, you say bar. I say wunder, you say bar. I say wunder, you say bar. I say wunder, you say bar, bar, bar. I was driving in my car from the bar, all the way from London to Manchester. The policeman said, you are going very fast. I said, yeah, wunderbar. 1, 2, 3. I say wunder, you say bar. 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 Los, los. Wunder, 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 wunder. 1, 2, 3. I say wunder, you say bar. 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 Wunderbar.
Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You know what it is. Of course, it's Thursday, the 13th of November, 2025. Whenever 2025 is, I don't fucking know. It's just a number. But what a press conference between Eubank and Ben. Who's getting excited? I certainly am, because it's going to be another epic, and I can't wait. But even though I know I'll have to, it's one of those things when I say I can't wait, but I know very well that I'm going to have to wait every fucking minute. I'm damn looking forward to it. No doubt me and my son will be watching it as we did last April the 26th, if memory serves me correctly. Last April 26th, I had my son over. We had this lovely seafood boil. Delicious. And so no doubt we'll have another seafood boil and settle down to watch another epic fight of the generations. And tonight's press conference was absolutely awesome. What I particularly did love was seeing Eubank and seeing Chris Senior Eubank face off against Nigel Benn. Pretty special. But listen, before we get kicked off, I've got some breaking news that's actually just came out within the last couple of hours, actually. So over to the news. Very interesting, actually. Here we go. Let's have a butcher's at this. Mahmood, which is, anyone is unfamiliar with Mahmood, I do believe Mahmood is the Home Secretary. Mahmood to scrap failed experiment of the police and crime commissioners. Fucking good news. I've held this belief for a long time myself. The police crime commissioners, they came in 2012, introduced by David Cameron government, bringing them over like the same setup as what you get in America. And so what, 2012, quickly do the maths, 15 years of a failed experiment. So Mahmood to scrap failed experiment of police and crime commissioners. The elected officials are in charge of setting police budgets and appointing the chief constable in their area. Breaking news as of today. Police and crime commissioners, PCCs, across England and Wales are to be abolished in a bid to save tens of millions of pounds. So in other words, police crime commissioners across the UK have wasted the taxpayers tens of millions of pounds. Ministers have declared the roles to be a failed experiment that has cost too much money and which the public are mostly unaware of. Fascinating. First established in 2012 by Theresa May. Oh, my mistake. I thought it was David Cameron. Correction, Theresa May. These elected officials are currently responsible for setting police force budgets and appointing chief constables in their respective areas. They were set up as part of efforts to increase accountability and standards of police forces, but critics have said they were ineffective. Ministers intend to scrap the positions in 2028, coinciding with the next scheduled elections, a move projected to save at least £100 million, which will be redirected to neighbourhood policing. Damn right. Yes. I mean, as it stands, for Sussex, the Police Crime Commissioner Office costs the taxpayer in region of over £1 million, 1.1 million. The top jobs attracting salaries of up to £85,000 a year, which I incidentally add for 3 days' work. Their duties concern police and arrangements by mayors and local leaders, just much like what happened before. The decision was informed by Policing Minister Sarah Jones in the House of Commons on Thursday. In a statement, Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood said the introduction of police and crime commissioners by the last government was a failed experiment. What is this going on? Experiments being forced upon the British public. Some people will what's the word I'm looking for? Will accuse is not the right word I'm looking for. Some people will contend that the COVID lockdown was indeed a failed experiment, and definitely the jab in your forearm, again, a failed experiment. Mahmood said, I will introduce new reforms so police are accountable to their local I can't actually read today, so let's just let's throw that down the bin, because evidently I cannot read. A lesson to myself that I should have went to school. But yeah, I mean, I could have told you that myself. Police crime commissioners, what a load of rubbish. And of course, it's only taken 15 years for the powers to be to finally acknowledge that police crime commissioners are a failed experiment, which I hasten to add even has cost the taxpayer hundreds of millions of pounds over the last 15 years. It's a step in the right direction, but still it doesn't take away for the fact that experiments are being forced upon the British public. And that's something that we should all be concerned about. You know, we're not lab rats, but that seems to be how they treat us. We're a bunch of lab rats in which experiments can be done upon us. And quite frankly, it's just not right. It's not right. We're not lab rats, you know, for experiments to be done upon us, for goodness sake. We're people. We're not cattle. And of course, that's the big thing, isn't it? Because the elites, the powers that be, do consider us as cattle. We're just cash cows. We are the great unwashed, and it's from us that they get their money and their power and their satisfaction and everything else under the sun. You know, we are the great herd. We're the great bison, in which we can get exploited at their pleasure and delight. I mean, that's all the more reason why we should have a revolution. And for me personally, a real revolution is a revolution in which the monarchy fall, not just the politicians. Funny enough, we'll touch upon the monarchy. I feel a bit reluctant to talk about this, but again, it's a subject that we should and must discuss only because it's in the public eye. And what I want to discuss and talk to you about is the fact that Andrew Windsor, stripped of his prince title, stripped of his royal regalia as such, is holed up in Norfolk, Windsor Castle, now being supported privately by King Charles III. This is important and newsworthy to bring up because, as we understand, the Senate, the Democratic senators in America are eager to have Andrew Windsor come over to America and tell them what he knows about the convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. And so what we find, the situation we find ourselves in, is that a wanted individual who may well be pressured by the US Democratic senators, subpoenaed even, not that a subpoena has any lawful standing in the UK jurisdiction, but still, there's a likelihood that the Democratic senators will subpoena Andrew Windsor to come to America to explain himself and to answer questions about the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. We're in this peculiar and unprecedented situation in which the King of the Commonwealth, King of the UK, King Charles III, is actively, and I say this with caution and reluctance, but I say this as a matter of public interest, truth and fact, is actively protecting a paedophile. At the very best, a paedophile protector. Because of course, the allegations against Andrew Windsor not only come from the lady who sadly committed suicide, Guthrie, no, not Guthrie, I've forgotten her name, but there's also allegations coming from Jessica Lee Collins that she was also raped by Andrew Windsor and Jeffrey Epstein. And of course, when we use the P word, it's difficult to talk about really, but the person, the girl that was photographed was 17 at the time. Either way, I think once the floodgates are opened, more and more allegations will come flooding in. But still, it goes back to the fact that King Charles III is actively protecting a suspected paedophile in his brother Andrew Windsor. And that is something I didn't think I would be saying on YouTube in the public sphere. And I'm sure it's something I don't think the British public would ever expect to hear said anywhere across the public domain. And of course, that isn't even touching upon the relationship of King Charles III with convicted paedophiles such as Peter Ball, suspected paedophiles such as Jeffrey Epstein, and of course his uncle, alleged to be a paedophile himself, Lord Mountbatten. And of course it asks the obvious question of whether King Charles III himself was actually abused as a child. But still, difficult times, ahead for all of us. Difficult questions that will be asked and are currently being asked across both sides of the pond, and a situation in which the rules find themselves at the precipice of tumbling over the cliff, and a real strong possibility that the UK may go down the road of becoming a republic, just as France and America have done themselves. And of course, it's through no fault of their own, because evidently the age-old saying of power corrupts absolutely, along with that is power festers perversion. When you have so much power that you can get away with what you want, enough time and enough activities spent doing what you want, I suspect, I've never been in that position, will inevitably lead you down the garden path to more and more despicable and perverted and criminal activities, which it seems evident what has been happening in our day and age. I keep on biting my tongue. I should really get to the dentist. So anyway, great conference, great final press conference between Eubank. It was great to see Chris Eubank Senior there. He's never turned up to, well, in recently anyway, for any of the next generation Eubank and Ben fights. This is the first time Chris Senior has been there. Brilliant stuff. I mean, only a few days earlier, Chris Eubank Senior was sprouting a load of poetry on some boxing programs, and he got into a bit of a heated discussion with some boxing punters or commentators. So it's really building up to be a fantastic night on Saturday night. I'm certainly going to enjoy it. I've cancelled my weekend away with my magical imaginary girlfriend, and I'm looking forward to watching it with my son, because on occasions like this, there's only one father-son activity, and that's watching a bloody good boxing match, because ultimately that's what men do. We beat each other up. That's what we do. If you've got an argument that needs settling, there's no better way to settle it than beating each other up. Yeah, man. Not that I've been in many fights. I haven't been in many fights. One particular fight I had, it happened on a Friday night. Well, it didn't happen. This is what happened, right? Michael Dean. We all used to catch the bus back. Michael Dean used to get off halfway along Portland Road. I used to get off at the end of Portland Road, walk back down Victoria Road to my home on Trafalgar Road. And of course, Michael Dean, one of the top lads in the year, second to only Jack Deneen. Jack Deneen was a top lad because he was a really good footballer, and he was in line to play for Brighton. So he was the top lad, Michael Dean. Top lad was Jack Deneen. The second lad was Michael Dean. Michael Dean, you could call him like the Danny Tomo, like the Danny Tomo of school or secondary school. And so anyway, Michael Dean, he had an egg. Funny enough, talking about eggs, connection with the Eubank. So Michael Dean had a choice. He's going to egg someone before he jumps off the bus. Now, who are you going to egg? Who's the person? You look around the room, look around the bus, you see Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor is a softie. Matt Taylor, we all put the boot in with Matt Taylor. So Michael Dean decided to egg me and then jumped off the bus laughing. And I was left there with egg running down my face. I was furious. I was fucking livid. And so I went through Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, just building up, full of hatred, man, full of hatred. And so, of course, come Monday morning, school was back on. I got on the bus, first stop at Portslade Station. We go along, halfway along Portland Road, Michael Dean comes on. He comes upstairs. The first thing I do is fucking fly at him. I fucking flew at the cunt and I smashed. I went bang, bang, bang. Then I got pulled off. Right, and everyone like, fucking hell, what the fuck's gone on now? And I was fucking fuming. And I ain't finished, you know. I got pulled off and Michael Dean was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And so I got held down as we continued to school. We all got off the bus at school. And then I flew at him again. Smash, smash, smash. Fucking smashing Michael Dean. Again, I got pulled off. And by that time, my sister and all her friends, it was a big like commotion. Like, who the fuck is that? It's beating up that guy. And my sister was like, yeah, that's my brother. That's my brother. But anyway, then we get back to the classroom because he was in the same class at me. And then bang, I fucking do him again. Just smash him up, man, in the classroom. And it was a big old thing because, you know, like, it scared everyone. Even the teachers were a bit concerned. It's like, what the fuck's happened to Matt Taylor? We haven't seen him. Matt Taylor used to be such a nice, quiet boy. But what the hell has fucking got into Matt Taylor, mate? Yeah, so that was one of the fights I had. I smashed up Michael Dean. And I tell you, he fucking had a bit of respect for me after that. I tell you that now, mate. Fucking hell. He certainly didn't bloody use me as the laughing stock. Fucking hell. Yeah, but apart from that, I haven't really had much fight. Yeah, I try to kind of keep it sparse and minimal. You know, I don't mind. I don't mind. But I don't feel as if I need to kind of like push my weight around or anything. But of course, if somebody eggs you, you just can't let that go. You know, you can't let that go, mate. That reminds me of it in the army. And we're at the mess hall, and there was this guy called Alan. Alan was in the Marines, but he transferred to the RMP. And Alan was married to what's her name now? Something like, totally, I've actually forgotten her name, but let's just call her Katie, okay? So Alan, ex-Royal Marine turned military policeman, was married to Katie, and for whatever reason, we were in the mess, you know, getting pissed up and like, fucking hell, in the mess. When you ordered a single vodka, well, there weren't no singles. If you ordered a vodka and Coke, you had a double vodka. I mean, that was the norm, right? So it was a very big drinking culture. But anyway, we were in the mess, pissed up, and for whatever reason, I don't fucking know, we were having a bit of banter with this Alan bloke, you know, a bit of banter, all smiles and laughs, and no big fucking deal. What's the big, you know, all fucking having a laugh, you know. But then during the night, I went to call my mother. And so there was this little telephone booth by the side of down the corridor, around the corner, you know, nice little quiet, away from the sound of the mess. And, you know, you go in this little alcove, you talk to your mum, blah, 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 tell her how it's going. Well, anyway, I was on the phone to my mum, right? And then fucking Alan just pokes his head around and then punches me in the face. It's like, I was like, oh, sorry, Mum. Yeah, I've got to go. I've just been punched in the face. And so, you know, I hung up talking to my mum, walked back into the mess and said, oh, yeah, everyone, guess what just happened? Alan has just punched me in the fucking face while I was on the phone to my mum. And everyone was like, really? Yeah. I was like, what a fucking coward. So I was like, and remember, he was an ex-Marine as well. So he's a fucking big guy. And I was just like, Alan, you fucking prick. You fucking coward cunt. You know what I mean? So I'm in the mess now. Are you going to fucking hit me now? You know, are you going to hit me now when I've got my both hands available? Or are you going to fucking wait until I'm on the phone to my mother again? You fucking sap. Yeah, but he didn't come out and do it though, mate. You know what I mean? Who's punching you, bruv? Who's punching you out? Well, mate, you got to listen back to the start, mate. Big views, big shout out to Big Views 2K24. Listen, I'm just recounting the old memories of my fights, and I haven't really had many, to be fair. What was another fight I had? You disrupted my my trail of thought. There was another notable event in which there was one time my son, we often talk about it, you know, I got my son some boxing gloves way back in the day. He was like 8, 9, 10, young lad, and I was in the kitchen, and he had his boxing gloves, and he was like, you know, he's a little git really, trying to throw the punches, but he was throwing half punches, and I said to him, Lewis, if you're gonna throw a punch, throw a fucking punch. Well, I didn't swear. I said, throw a punch. Don't throw a punch half-heartedly. If you're going to throw a punch, make sure you throw it with everything you've got. Otherwise, it's not worth throwing a punch. You know what I mean? And so the little git, he only goes and throws a punch, catches me on my jaw, and I fucking saw the stars. Honestly, he didn't knock me out, but I saw the bloody stars. I thought, fucking hell. Either number one, my son's got a lovely right hook, or two, I got a jaw like glass. Either way, I saw the fucking stars. Trust me. But yeah, that's a good bit of advice I gave my son. If you're going to hit someone, hit them as if you mean it. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's one more occasion which I had little rough tufts, but I can't quite remember it. I've totally gone actually. So maybe I can only 3 occasions. And of course, the last time I got called out for a fight was by Danny West. I mean, we haven't heard much from Danny West anymore, but we had a little ding dong together. I don't know fucking why. But of course, you know, Danny West invited me to come up to York and have a fight with him. I mean, I would do, but I need to gauge the opponent. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone would turn up for a fight when you don't know who you're fighting. And so I thought one of the conditions to fight Danny West was to at least I need to know who I'm fighting, you know. But of course, he wouldn't show himself, so I couldn't gauge what kind of bloke I'd be fighting. So that's why that didn't really come to any fruition. But I'm sure there's another fight out there, the third fight, which honestly, for the life of me, it's just not coming back to me. I'm trying to think where it was really. You know, as you know, as members of the audience know, I just naturally wind people up. It's one of my little talents that I like to think I'm very good at. You know, it's more than Marmite. It's kind of like toxic. You know, when people hate me, they fucking hate me. You know what I mean? Oh, talking about that, I have got something which really like sums up the hate people feel towards me. Let's see if I can find it actually. Here we go. This may be quite interesting, and this perfectly sums up a hatred people have towards me, your host, and Matt Taylor.
Taylor, you big, fat, stupid, uncouth, talentless, graceless, moronic, dirty, criminal scumbag. I hate you, Matt. I really do. I hate you with a passion. I hate you more than I hate fucking Vladimir Putin. And he's a right knobhead. So bear that in mind. You stupid wanker. You're a fucking idiot. You loser. You fucking knob. You dickhead. You wank ass. You shit brain. Yeah, pudding.
Yeah, as I was saying, people really hate me. It's the effect I have. It's the effect I have on people. I don't mind. You know, I really don't mind. Because ultimately, in the same intensity as people hate me, people also love me. And so that makes it all right. That balances it out. You know what I mean? You know, I've got the love of a wonderful, magical, imaginary girlfriend. And her love balances out all the hate I have in my life. And of course, I've got two lovely children who I love dearly and who love me dearly. But most importantly, the love of my life is life itself. That's what I get real goosebumps about. You know what I mean? That's what I really fills me with like inner joy and happiness is life. I just think life is such a blessing. And I'm getting a bit emotional now talking about it. Because life is so fucking amazing. I just love it. I just love everything about life. It's just like, it's special. It's really special. And I just love life. And I'm so grateful when I wake up in the morning, breathing and knowing that I've got another day of life ahead of me. And it's just like, yes, fucking so happy. I can do another day of life. And I don't take anything for granted. And it's just love. I mean, and today I was out and about, walking along Brighton seafront, just taking it all in. Yes, I am back writing. Yes, thank you. Big views, 2K24. Yes. Oh, and I'll tell you what I'm enjoying about writing now. I'm making shit up. And that's really fun. You know what I mean? I'm imagining conversations that I've no idea about. But yeah, I'm just making stuff. But so it's very nice of you to say I'd like to read some of your musings. Yes, you can, as you know. Hello, Lenny, Matt, me old China. Hello, mate. What's going on, son? I'm just reminiscing about my my fights. Reminiscing about my fights, of course, because we've got a big fight night on Saturday night. Looking forward to it. Can't bloody wait. Matt, I see comments on your screen. Oh, do you? Is that a good thing or bad thing? I don't really know. Let's get ready to rumble. We've got a hell of a fight tomorrow. And I was just reminiscing about my fights, Lenny. But there is a third fight, which I cannot remember for the life of me. Where should I look? Well, do you know what a good bit would be good to look at? Is MattTaylor.writer. Okay, MattTaylorWriter.wordpress.com. I mean, let's see if that comes up. Yes, there you go. Thanks ever so much for asking. It's very kind of you. I do hope you've subscribed. So that's maybe a good place to start. You know, good place to start. Or of course, you know, you can always check out my my forum. But like I said, I've got pleasure. It's a pleasure. That's what I mean. It's a pleasure. Cheers. Where are you? Oh, Legsby Avenue. What are you on about? And of course, you can always check out my forum. Elias Smith. What are you going on about? You can check out my forum. But yeah, you can pretty much find me. I've made it a mission in life to be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You know what I mean? If anyone knows what Lenny's going on about, please send them a postcard to Hoax Police, a bunch of bollocks. I noticed Fanny Bones came in yesterday with a cigarette emoji and a cup of tea. You know, it's his way of saying, I'm here and I'm watching. Mate, if you fucking decide to comment, let's say something rather than this kind of like creepy cigarette emoji and a cup of tea. if, yeah, I'm smoking while watching you. No, mate, if you got something to say, come in and fucking say it. Mate, Matt, your mate was on live last night. Who's my mate? I ain't got no mates, mate. I ain't got no mates. Who's my mate? Isn't Delia a chef? Oh, yeah, but she's also a football owner, isn't she? She's a chairman on some football club. Most of them are. For 3 points, name other 3 more famous celebrities who own football clubs. For me, I've got Elton John. Fired is dead, so you can't really... Yeah, well done, Lenny. Elton John had Watford, didn't he? Yeah, Elton John, Watford. Who else? Who else is out there owns a football club? Oh, what about the Wrexham? Isn't there the Wrexham, the Hollywood stars? Is it Wrexham, the Welsh club? Yeah, everyone knows Elton. Come on, son. I'm sure it's Wrexham. Some owners of Wrexham, some Hollywood geezers. Yes, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. That's it. So we got 2. We got 3. No, we need another one, don't we? We need another one. So Wrexham is owned by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. Isn't Sting? Does Sting own a football club? No, I don't think so. Don't think so. Anyway, yes, the other guy is, as I said, is Rob McElhenney. He was in a really good drama about a computer game. Anyway, bloody looking forward to that fight on Saturday. It's going to be epic. And Lenny, I was also discussing about how the police crime commissioners, they're being scrapped. They're being called a failed experiment, having cost the taxpayers hundreds of millions of pounds. So I very much welcome that. I mean, it's only taken them 15 years to realise that the police and crime commissioners are a bunch of load of shit, quite frankly, where that money could have gone to policing. And so I think that's very good news, and I welcome it wholeheartedly, that Labour, Mahmood, the Home Secretary Mahmood, has finally come to her senses and is abolishing police crime commissioners. They're being abolished 2028, a bit too late for me. I think they should be abolished with immediate effect, in my personal opinion. Lenny says 1 to go. I think Louis Tomlinson from Wrong Direction has some shares in West Brom. I get the impression Lenny doesn't like West Brom. I'm sure there's like famous, but I'm going to Google it. Famous people who own football clubs. Oh, of course. There's one which we should know. He owns I'll let you get this, Lenny. You'll get it, no problem. He owns a significant American football club. There you go. I know I was cheating. I know. But we should have got the one I'm thinking about. He owns an American football club. Hey, we all know that, don't we, eh? We all know that. I should have got that. Yes, you got it. Lenny's got it, of course. And yeah, I did cheat by Googling it. Yeah, damn fucking right I did, mate. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Golden Balls. He owns Miami, doesn't he? Something like that. Of course, he's got one of the most famous footballers playing for him, isn't he? I'm useless at footballers' names. Good to have a new commentator in. Hello, Big Views 2K24. Thanks ever so much for coming in and saying hi. I do love it when we've got somebody coming in. And in dedication to you, I'd like to play you a little promotional video as a thank you for coming in and saying hi. So this is dedicated to Big Views 2K24. Welcome to Matt Taylor TV.
To Matt Taylor TV. It's wacky, zany, and very crazy.
Don't know what the fuck that was, but I enjoyed making it. It's more AI slop. Oh, I love a bit of AI slop. I do. I love a bit of AI slop. There's nothing I love better in life than a bit of AI slop. Oh, I love it. Lovely, jubbly, doubly, wobbly, and all that jazz. I got loads of it. Mate. I got loads of AI slop. Before I show you another bit of AI slop, over to Lenny, who says, Matt, Charles knighted him last week. Yeah, what a joke. These titles are snobbery, according to actor Albert Finney. That's why he refused it. Well, you know, I certainly wouldn't be getting anything from that paedophile protector. And I don't know what you just heard then, but I certainly did not call King Charles III a paedophile protector. I don't know what the fuck, I don't know what you were listening to. I think you must be listening to another YouTube channel, because I certainly did not, absolutely, categorically, I did not describe King Charles III as a paedophile protector. I don't know why you say things like that. And, you know, saying things like that can get people in my position in a lot of trouble. So I do appreciate if you take that back and let the police know that I did not say, and in no way did I describe King Charles III as a paedophile protector just because he's looking after his brother Andrew Windsor. Absolutely ridiculous. And I find it quite, you know, dangerous that people out there should make aspersions that people like me with this public platform is going out and calling King Charles III a paedophile protector, because that is simply not true. I think times like this, we need a bit of AI slop just to like change the mood. Here we go.
I only watch Matt Taylor TV while I'm in outer space.
Yeah, so I often get a lot of the Star Trek crew contacting me, that they let me know that on 5-year-long missions, that one of the favourite things they like to do is watch Matt Taylor TV in outer space. Matt, BHTV went live last. No way! Oh, I can't believe I missed it. Oh, fuck. Matt, BHTV went live last night, and another plea to Harry Windsor to phone up E17 Bandbender. Wow. Brian said to Harry to call him. And mate, honestly, did he mention you? Because I know you laid into him last night, didn't you? You were like right banging into him, you were. I just hope you wore a condom, because, you know, the way you banged him last night, mate, you know, I thought you'd leave some mess. But as long as you wore a condom, I think that'll be okay. Oh my goodness gracious me. That's great, mate. Lenny is painting us a picture of Brian Harvey in conversation with Harry Windsor. Oh, sorry, Harry Sussex. This is a great idea, Lenny. And something I think I may envisage, actually, because that's all part of my writing at the moment. I love writing imaginary conversations, which I have no idea what was said, but I just love going there. So I'm just going to write that. Imagine a phone call, bear with me, between Brian Harvey, oh, it's going to be so funny, and Harry Sussex. Because of course he's not called, I didn't think he was called a Windsor anymore. Harry Mountbatten Windsor, his lawyers are in fraud probe. No joke, really. Fuck. Harry man batting Windsor, if you don't mind. Well, in that case, why is Meghan calling herself Megan Sussex? Try and explain that to me, mate. You know, obviously, if Megan's surname is Sussex, it must mean Harry's surname is Sussex. Come on, stop gaslighting me. Over to Lenny, who says Brian seemed to have a bee in his bonnet that David Sherborne is Harry's lawyer because he completely mugged off Brian Harvey. Yeah, I know, mate. I think you triggered him last night, actually, Lenny. Not that I'm positive Brian Harvey watches Matt Taylor TV, but I think you've triggered him. I think you were like banging him last night, mate. I just only hope you wore a condom and didn't leave a mess behind, you know. And I certainly hope you didn't make him sleep in the wet patch. Fucking hell, Lenny. You banged him hard last night, mate. Banged him hard. I was a bit embarrassing, actually, the way you were banging him. I was like thinking, fucking hell, at least get your own hotel room and fucking bang him out of public sight. But no, you were like banging him in front of all of us. Shit, Lenny, mate. Fucking hell. Mate, embarrassing it was. But anyway. All right, so that's something I'll watch. Oh yeah, because I had the 10 o'clock visitors again, didn't I? That's right. That's why I missed it. I had my 10 o'clock visitors, and we were busy most of the evening. Of course, it's all coming back to me now. No wonder I missed him. Yeah, we were doing stuff. Don't tell my magical imaginary girlfriend. No need for her to know. So, you know, all right. So I missed Brian Harvey. Fucking hell. I'm looking forward to watching that though, mate. I've got no visitors coming tonight, so I'll wrap this up in 10 minutes. Bang over to Brian Harvey and see what he has to say, mate. Yeah. But anyway, a big thank you to Lenny for coming in and saying hi. And of course, a big thank you to a new commentator, Big Views 2K24. And talking about a big thanks to Lenny, I'd like to play Lenny a bit of AI slop, just as a thank you for commenting. Before I do so, I can go straight ahead. This is dedicated to Lenny.
Subscribe to Matt Taylor TV, and all your wild fantasies will come true.
Because I know Lenny loves a bit of my AI slop. Oh, I tell you, there's never enough AI slop over at Matt Taylor TV. I've got it coming out of my ear holes. I've got so much AI slop to share around. I can share everyone can have a bowl, and there'll still be more to feed the 5,000. Honestly, I've got shitloads of AI slop on Matt Taylor TV. You'll love it. And not only have I got shitloads of AI slop, if you subscribe to Matt Taylor Extra, guess what? You can get even more AI slop. I kid you not. Honestly. So make sure you subscribe to Matt Taylor TV Extra for even more AI slop. Honestly. Over to Lenny. Brian complaining about the same shit since 2012, 2013. I know. But this is what happens, Lenny, when nothing gets resolved. When you don't get justice, you get stuck in the same place. You can't move on until you've got justice. And I totally get that. You know, I totally get it. And it's a sad indictment of human nature. You know, we can't move on until we can resolve what's gone on in the past. Matt, he seems to be keeping Nosferatu hours. I know, and that was a good film. Yeah. Well, you know, he lives his life by his own rules, doesn't he? eh? Lives his life by his own rules. And I mean, quite frankly, I wish him all the luck in the world. And I was thinking about him because I was listening to John Wedger today. John Wedger has not got enough good things to say about Bill Maloney. And the only reason I doubt Bill Maloney is because of Brian Harvey. But ultimately, Brian Harvey did record the conversation, and we have got the recording of Chris Fay, Bill Maloney, and that Andrew Ash implying that David Icke is a sexual predator. And I mean, a camera doesn't lie, does it? He solved the Nicola Bullock case and the Liam Payne homicide. Why haven't Scotland Yard, I'm not laughing actually, why haven't Scotland Yard contacted him to solve Lord Lucan? Wedger and Maloney are very close pals. Remember them on swings in a town park. All right. I mean, you know, we've got so many personalities knocking about the place, so many different stories, so many people saying, no, that story's a lie. And then other people go, no, it's true. Honestly, it's a fucking mess. I want to make everyone aware that Den Tarragon said as a fact that Jason Waugh brought a share, where I know for a fact Jason Waugh hadn't brought a share. So there's just so much bullshit going around. So much fucking bullshit. And I feel for you because I'm a part of it, not a part of the bullshit. I'm a part of the audience like you who are left scratching our heads about the complete and utter bullshit. Because just when you come to think you trust someone, you got someone like Brian Harvey bringing out evidence that implies that you can't trust them. You know? It's a fucking mindfuck. That's what it is, mate. Remember the documentary about Wedger finding an old bike in a river and getting it fixed and cycling around solving crime? It was a massive pie and mash film, was it? I don't know. But I do remember Wedger said his superiors asked him, what do you need? And he said, well, I need a secretary and a bike. So whether he was riding a secretary, I don't think that happened as such. Matt, Bill was in a film, Trauma, in 2004 with Colin Firth. He's an actor. Look it up. Okay, I will. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I do remember Sun Seeing Satan. I spent 20 quid on it. I've got it somewhere in my bookcase somewhere. I brought it, mate. I paid £20 for that. And yeah, it's around here somewhere. It may well be in arm reach. And I personally think Bill Maloney done some really good work exposing the institutional child abuse that's been going on for absolute decades. And of course, we had this recently with this this prison guard called, you know, what was his name? Most prolific abuser, Neville Husband. Neville Husband has been in the news recently. Carried out at least 388 sexual offences against young men and boys between 1969 and 1985. And of course, the person who flagged up, let me get his name again, Neville Husband, was none other than Bill Maloney. Is Husband not an unusual name? I've never heard of it before. I've never heard of Husband as a surname before, but, you know, I haven't really lived, have I? I've only been around this earth 54 years. What do I know? But, yeah, getting back to Bill Maloney, of course, Bill Maloney's done some sterling work in shining the light of institutional child abuse, and rightly so. I mean, it's fantastic. If Bill Maloney hadn't done what he'd done, a lot of us would still be in the dark. But then you get somebody like Brian Harvey coming along and discrediting Bill Maloney, and rightly so, because we've got the footage of Bill Maloney, Chris Fay, and Andrew Ash feeding Brian Harvey a load of bullshit about David Icke. We had Andrew Ash claim as a primary witness in the first person that, and I could be getting this wrong, so correct me if I am, but we had Andrew Ash imply in the third person as an eyewitness that he was abused by David Icke. And then it questions, well, what the hell was Bill Maloney introducing Andrew Ash to Brian Harvey to spread him lies? Because who really thinks David Icke is a sexual predator? I mean, I don't think Gareth Icke will particularly appreciate Bill Maloney introducing Andrew Ash to Brian Harvey, who says something like that about his father. It's all fucked up. That's what it is. Ultimately, it's a big fuck up. And our UK truth movement is a load of crap because there's simply no truth anymore. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Fucking truth movement. Don't make me fucking laugh. It's a bullshit movement full of crap. That's what it is. And it's full of crap because we can't decide on anything. We can't even decide on what the truth is in the truth movement. It's embarrassing. Too many players, too many chefs spoiled the broth. I don't know whether that's the old saying, but you know what I mean. But anyway, we're coming up to the hour and I'm off. I'm off ski. I've got things to do, and I'm sure you've got things to do too. But before I go, I'd like to say a big thank you for Lenny for coming in, keep me company. And of course, a big thank you for the new commentator. Big views 2K24. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. Be sure to come in again. Don't be shy and all that jazz. Either way, tomorrow's Friday. I've blown off my magical and imaginary girlfriend. I'm staying home for the weekend, watching the boxing with my son. It's going to be epic. I think we're going to have a nice meal Saturday. Settle down, have a bit of Cornish beer, and watch the fight. Okay. Martin, thoughts on Angela Power Disney? I've got a message from Angela Power Disney. She's gone through some persecution as well. I haven't got time to talk about Angela yet, but Angela has been persecuted a lot more than any of us put together. Well, what time? Well, it's going to be 10 onwards, mate. It's going to be the bout of the evening, isn't it? We're going to have an undercard. The last time, it'll be on whatever thing it is. Danza, or whatever it is. It was the end fight, wasn't it? It was the end fight. So no doubt it will start after 10. I think the whole evening entertainment kicks off about 5. So we'll have the lighter weights building up to the heavy weights, and then Eubank and Ben 2 is the main event. I mean, that was why I came on half an hour late, because I was watching the press conference. Bloody brilliant. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Check it out, man. It was brilliant. The seniors, the dads faced off against each other. It was class. It was class. But of course, Nigel Benn, cracked a smile, had a handshake. But honestly, mate, theatre, love it. Can't wait. Getting it on. Yes, AJ is boxing. Logan Paul now is cashed in his credibility chips. I thought AJ was getting ready to fight Tyson. But hey, what do I know? Listen, everyone. I've got something really important to tell you. King Arthur was a real historical figure. And when you hear mongos like Taffy dissing King Arthur, you've really got to say to yourself, Taffy is one hell of a mongo. And on that note, I'd like to say good night, farewell, and sweet dreams.
The world was wrapped in a blanket of white. The sun went to bed and slept through the night. The halls were all silent, the battles were done, and a new little king waited under the sun. Old Bishop Dyfric came through the cold air to be with the king and the queen in their care. He spoke by the fire, his voice low and deep, while all of the kingdom is happily asleep. Oh, a cloud gathers far away, a shadow on the land. We'll need a brave protector with a strong and steady hand. So if your son is born, my king, let hope be evermore, and give him the name of a hero from the days of yore. Then morning broke golden on Christmas Day. The snowflakes they danced and the clouds rolled away. A cry from the chamber so joyful and clear, the king and the bishop, they leaned in to hear. A son, you have a son, the happy servant cried, with a head of dark hair and his eyes open wide. He held the king's finger in a tiny, mighty fist, a sign of the great strength in the winter's mist. Oh, the cloud gathers far away, a shadow on the land. But here is a new protector with a strong and steady hand. For now your son is born, my king, let hope be evermore, and we'll give him the name of a hero from the days of yore. So down to the chapel, a line of torchlight, they walked through the stillness of the winter night. The snow gleamed like diamonds, the stars shone above, filled with the wonder of promise and love. The water was blessed, the old words were said, as the future king gently bowed his head. Your name will be Arthur, the bishop did say. Be brave as a bear and keep darkness at bay. You're born on this day when the world starts anew, a Christmas Day prince for the loyal and true. They carried him home to his mother's warm arms, safe from the world and all of its harm. the people all knew, from the valley to the hill, that a legend was born and the land stands